You kill all your babies and then put them on a barbecue. Cause you think that you just ruined the wit. You just ruined the single wittiest line I've ever written in the song, and no one's ever come in screaming last orders in the middle of it. I'm going to do it again. Thank you. Yeah, it was a clatter.
I'm Paddy Clark. I'm a poet and musician, and I am the poetry coordinator for the Unusual Arts Sourcing Company. We do a lot of stuff at festivals like Sound City.
My name's Alex, Alex Ferguson, and I am the host of local poetry night in Liverpool, A Lovely Word. And I'm also a poet and a theatre producer as well.
My background in poetry is I was really into Dr. Seuss. I started writing some poetry in undergrad to make sort of people laugh, and then I realised that they were actually laughing, which was quite nice, and then I started performing it and sort of reading more widely and studying it more, and just developed a love for it. The ability to read things out and people respond well to them. I think there's a lot to be said for that attitude where you can just know music and you just say something that you've written down as an original thought and people respond well to it.
When I was at school, I used to stand on the table in my common room and write weekly poems about raps, as it were, about the goings on in my school, about gossip, etc., and make those into poems, which went down really well, mildly so. That when I went to do English literature at university, I then found myself in an environment with lots of poetry. I studied lots of poetry, creative writing, etc. at Liverpool University, and did bits on the side in terms of going to the likes of the Dead Good Poets Society and A Lovely Word myself. I became friends with the host of A Lovely Word, and then covered for him a couple of times hosting, and then started hosting and booking professional poets myself.
With the proper surge of writings, a lot of good poets come through, so that's good. Me, obviously, because I'm honest.
Okay, I'll give you a choice. I've got a song called Planet Earth Dies with a Shot of Vodka in its Eyes. Or I have a song that's only 2 minutes long called You Think Your Sex Life is Tough, Try Being a Slug. That'll do. Shit hands for Planet Earth. That's got to win because it's longer, so it's more of me anyway.
Phone community is important for creativity in terms of having lots of opportunities to collaborate with people, to have conversations at these spaces, whether they be open mics across the city, or arts events otherwise for kind of poets to kind of come together and talk. Yeah, I think so. And then that enables great art to be made.
One man in a city sort of yelling into the wind is not going to do as much as when you've got a lot of people yelling into the wind very loudly, and the wind kind of shifts out the way. No, but yeah, there's a lot of voices, and community makes for much more a widespread of influences and inspirations, and a much more, I think, healthier end product for a writing piece.
Do you think there's something special about Scouts comics?
Yeah, there is. And I can't put my finger on it. I don't think anyone really could, but there is something very endearing about it. If someone can figure out why that is, why people from the north write great poetry, I want someone to figure out what it is and write a formula for it, so that I could just churn out pieces again and again and to some like physics-based equation of poetry. Because I don't know, but there is something very special.
Growing up in the north myself, even though I don't fully have the accent, is that there is something quite important about ex-industrial working class vein running through the poetry of the north. It's a kind of a cutting, slightly acidic wit that comes with the kind of northern feeling that is post-industrial, that is working class, that is in opposition to southernness.
In Liverpool, there can be a bit of a tendency at the moment, because there's such a great circuit in the city. It has become a bit, for me, insular, where people aren't moving out, and I think it's changing. I think Lovely Word bringing in headliners from out of the town is a great way to sort of break that. Branching out would be a a really healthy thing, I think, for the Liverpool poetry scene. People will hear it and have this natural, like, a lot of people were like, no, I'm not doing this, they've been forced it down their throats at school, like they're on some life support machine. But there's a lot of very funny and really genuinely moving poetry out there that people just really need to engage with and get involved with, because it can speak to people on ways that they wouldn't expect.
It doesn't expand by looking inwards, it expands by looking outwards, and I'd say that's the one thing it's missing.
And to plug, me, I'm Boss. Go like me on social media, because according to today's society that means that I'm important. When people like things on social media, please like me on social media, that would be really cool. Thank you.